This is a Bering 70. Now, if you've heard me use the expression "the little ship" in the past, well, you're going to hear it again, because the very ethos of these is to be a really sturdy, serious offshore cruiser. In fact, this is the smallest model that Bering build. In fact, there is a 65, but actually that has more volume. So by volume, this is the smallest boat. And in fact, this particular one is a customer's boat they've got here at the Cannes Boat Show. It's 5 years old, although it doesn't look it. And it's worth checking out their website if you're interested in one of these, because they have done quite a few updates for the latest model. But it's, as I say, really interesting to have a walk around this one and show you what it's all about. And I'm starting here on the decks because this is where that little ship feel starts. Look at these bulwarks on this. You really are walking around a proper little ship. And in fact, I often talk about high rails. On a really high rail, sometimes they're waist height. On this one, they're actually elbow height. It's a really secure boat to move around. Now, these are a semi-custom build, so there's a lot of options and changes that you can do as a buyer of one of these. And this particular boat has been set up for owner operations, so it's been specified so that it's used entirely by the owner and his family and his friends. So there's no crew cabin on this one, and they manage this completely on their own. Now, what you do get on here is a really vast storage area down here under the foredeck. So in here, that's actually an air-conditioned space, and you can see there's massive room in there. So dive bottles, as they've got in there, all that kind of stuff. That's a great place to tuckle that away. And it is very much the sort of boat that you go off exploring and having fun on for a long period. So that kind of thing, of course, is really useful. We'll head down this side. Again, you see that little ship feel with the upright windscreens there and the overhang, and look at these wipers, the way they're built into the overhead. It's all proper, serious offshore stuff. And the same with the doors. We're going to come into the interior from the stern, but you see all these doors have got these dog catches on, so you can really secure this up in heavy seas. Let's come right to the back. I like these overhangs here. Again, it's that ship feel. I'll try not to overuse that expression if I can. Big cockpit area here at the stern, and we'll take a look on the flybridge and then we will head inside. So up these steps. Now on this one, it's been laid out with tender storage right at the stern up here. Now they don't necessarily have this. Again, this is down to owner specification, and again, worth checking out their website and seeing how the latest layouts are working. But this is what this one's got. Crane out here on the back, you've got a storage box here, and the tender is underneath there. You've also got catering up here as well. So underneath this lid, you've got the griddle, you've got a ceramic hob there as well, sink as you can see, and a couple of fridges down here as well. Big hard top on here, a lot of headroom throughout this boat as well. Even up here, if you have a look, you can see I'm almost having to sort of reach up to get to that. And then you've got this area here. This is quite nice because this is laid out for lounging, but what you can do is lift this backrest up, and that then makes seating all the way around the table. And then up here is the helm. You've got this wonderful helm seat. It's all designed for comfort and long distance cruising. It's a displacement boat. It's not high speed. It's for covering some serious miles, and we'll talk about that, of course, when we get to the engine space. But up here, you've got a terrific view. You've got your throttle controls, your bow and stern thruster, your navigation, all the usual things that you would expect. And we're in Cannes today. You can see this is Cannes over here. And a little bit of a grey day for a change. Going to brighten up later there, apparently. Let's head on to the inside, because that is well worth seeing. So we've got the doors into the saloon here. This has got two entrances down to the lower deck, and we'll have a look at both of those. But I mention that simply because on the latest model they've changed that. So another reason to check out how they're laying them out now. But it certainly, again, gives you that feeling and that sense of security. For example, if we come back to this door here, which closes over, you've got your normal handle there, but you've also got these, which when you close it, you can see how they all move. And those lock into up in behind here. You can see how that's strengthened, and that's to make that ultra secure. If you're out in big seas, you're not going to have any problems with water coming in, that's for sure. Saloon area here, this I've got to show you. This is really clever, this table. So this is laid out for dining, as you can see. But if you want that at coffee table height, all you need to do is lift this end, watch this, like so, and then that does that. How neat is that? pretty impressive, isn't it? So now you have a coffee table there. There's a high-low TV, as you can see, and then the galley is on this level as well. Again, it's all about living on board with your family or your friends and everybody being connected. It's not a crew boat at all, this one. You can have crew, of course. They can fit it out with crew cabins and so on, but not this particular option for this owner. Cooking is here, and then this is all storage along here, so your glasses and that kind of stuff. A lot of refrigeration down underneath, and then a lot more storage down across here, so places like this. Dishwasher is in here. And then this, again, all storage along here. I won't open them all, but just to give you an idea, that's what that looks like. So you can get all your food and spices and other bits and pieces tucked away. If we head on forward from here, this is the door that I showed you from the deck as we came past. You can see how substantial all the engineering is on this. They're a very, very solid boat, and this is the wheelhouse. You can close this off, so there's a door here, and again, this is about the long distance ethos. You might be out for sort of 24 hours running at a time or more, and that means that people can be back there, and with the lights on, it's not distracting people in here or reflecting on the windscreen. So that's a very useful feature for long distance cruising. You've got doors on both sides, so plenty of ventilation through here. Again, a lot of storage tucked away about the place, even up in the overheads up here. Places like this. And the same on the other side. Nice little area here for people to gather if they want to come and enjoy the cruise, see what's going on, and then the helm is here. And people often say, well, there's no helm seat. Again, very much the ship ethos with this, because when you're out at sea, you're not sitting driving it like a car where you're there on the wheel doing this. You get out, you just plot your course, you hit the autopilot, and then you let the boat do its same thing. You can wander around, you can keep a good watch, you can sit back here if you want to sit down. So that's very much a ship feature to have that standing bar like that. More instrumentation across the top, and then you've got the big nav screens here in the dash. Now if we head on forward again, there are some steps down here. And then you've got a cabin up here in the bow. I like the finish in here actually. I like these muted grey tones, they look really good. And again, the lighting all up around the top. There's AV equipment in here as well. And then storage, I'm not going to open everything, but just to give you an idea, in places like this. There we go. But a nice cabin, and what's particularly nice about this cabin is it's separated off from the rest of the lower deck. So it does make for a nice private area. Hanging locker here, and also in behind here, this is the ensuite to this cabin. Like so. So let's head back and I will show you that other lower deck accommodation, and in fact the access to the engines is there as well, which is why I've gone a slightly different route on this boat so that we can end up with the motors. That's always nice to see. So we'll head on back through the saloon. It's a nice area, isn't it? And we'll come on down here. And what you'll find down here is there are two cabins. This is intriguing. This is actually a watertight bulkhead here, so this again can close off. And if you ever had a problem, then that is meaning that the boat can be compartmentalized from a water intrusion point of view. Sort of thing you hope you never need, but it's not something you often see on this side of the boat. It's very impressive to see that. We'll go over this side first of all. There is a cabin here. And this is laid out with bunks, but the bottom one, as you can see, is a double. So you can either have this as a double cabin, or if you've got kids who want the bunk beds, then you've got them. And again, a lot of owner specification in terms of stuff like this. Storage, let's put that door back like so. Storage, tucked away everywhere, your hanging lockers, and this is nice, these little shelves here. And a little dressing area or working area. Put your laptop on there. Ideal. Now this doesn't have an ensuite, but the day heads is down here as well. That's in here. And as you can see, there's a shower in there as well. And that drains straight through, obviously the floor just there. And the other thing that you have down here then is the master cabin. That is in the centre of the boat. So you've got minimum roll and maximum beam. And if we head on into here, you can see this is a really nice area for the owner. It's really nicely upholstered. As I mentioned, it's full beam. You've even got somewhere where you can tuck yourself away with a good book. And if we head on around this side, storage along in places like this, all the way along here. This one here is a big hanging locker. And I mentioned the way that everything's finished, it just looks really nice. I love the lighting in here as well, all very discreet. All nicely done, but it's a really big cabin. When you stand back here, you can see just how much space you get. Okay, let's head on around a bit further. Ensuite to this cabin, of course, so that's in through here. And you've got big separate shower stall, you've got the loo in here, of course, and the wash basin. Superb. Let's go and look at engines. They're back here, and you can see there's another watertight door. This again is that little ship feel that we're talking about. Sorry, David. More storage along here, and then back here as well. So for linen, all that kind of stuff, you've got it all covered. And this one then takes us into the engine space. Now this is a strictly displacement speed boat. It's not a planing boat, so it doesn't have great big huge engines. The idea of these is they get the boat up to its hull displacement speed, which is about 12 knots, and you cruise at about 8 or 9 knots. So these are a pair of Cummins engines. They're QSB 6s, they're 305 horsepower each. That's one. And there's another one tucked around over here, like so. And because they're small engines and running the boat at displacement speeds, what that gives you is range. And what you get from this at 8 knots is a range of about 2,500 miles. And what I think is even more impressive is that's using fuel at a rate of about 16 litres an hour. 16. That's amazing. Nice engine space. You can see all the exhaust routing up through here, for example. That's a Seakeeper in the centre. You've got twin generators across the back. That's a ladder for direct access up to the cockpit. But yeah, nice workable engine space, plenty of room to move around. That one there, incidentally, that's a water maker. Again, that's very much the ethos of the boat. Go out and stay out, in which case you want to be able to create your own water. So that then is about it. Let's close that one up. And I think we'll release the poor chap in here and we'll go and finish the video with, if you don't recognise him, this is David Seal from Yachts for Sale. Hello, David. It's great to have you on the channel at last.
Thank you very much. It's been a long time in coming, hasn't it?
It has. We were planning this a couple of years ago, and then we had the whole COVID crisis, but we really wanted to try and get on each other's channels. So I met David down here and we thrashed out a brilliant idea of sneaking him into an aquaholic video. So thank you for David for your guest appearance.
It's been an absolute pleasure. I think it's time for your guest appearance on mine in a few moments as well, isn't it?
Yeah, watch out for that. I'm going to crop up in a Yachts for Sale video, so look out for that. It'll be on the Bering 70. So I hope you enjoyed that tour. I hope you like the boat. Let me know what you think in the comments, and say hi to David. We'll catch you on another one of these very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Nick.